Okay.
And we're live.
Yeah.
Live from New York. It's VGXL podcast. Starring.
Oh wait, that's not how that goes, right?
Oh.
That's funny.
Woo! Sorry. I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you.
Stop it.
I.
There we go. All right. But yeah, I don't know. Tell me a story.
I have no stories right now.
Come on, Fefer. You know you got some stories. I want to hear something crazy. Tell me some crazy.
Something crazy.
Something extra crazy.
I be living that crazy life. I went to a bridal shower this weekend.
You went to a bridal shower this weekend?
Hell yeah!
What do they do there? Do they like take a shower with brides?
Yes, exactly as you think. Yes.
That sounds amazing.
We all wear bathing suits. We all just take a full-on shower together.
You know what else is amazing?
Great time.
Welcome to the next episode of VGXL. I'm your host, Daniel, aka Games. Joining me again is the beautiful Fefer from the channel, Fefer. And if you're not already following, definitely hit that like, subscribe, and follow us at VGXL Podcast or Video Games X Life everywhere else. And you can follow Fefer on Twitter at
Fefer Plays. Twitch. That's
where?
I don't know.
Who?
Twitter.com/PfefferPlays. I just tripped over my words. Or Twitch.tv.
What are you even doing?
I don't know anymore. This isn't streaming, so I'm lost.
You're lost. It's so different. It's crazy.
Completely different.
It's
nothing like
crazy.
streaming. This is all pre-planned and stuff. I'm gonna trip over my words here.
It's okay. You're allowed to trip over your words, even if it's pre-planned and stuff. See, here at Video Games X Life, I think we've established this many episodes ago. We're super professional and not super professional all at the same time.
Extreme.
We know what we're doing, and we have absolutely no idea what we're doing. All in one.
Also have established that we aren't Hideo Kojima. I am part of the cult.
That was last week. This week you're back to Fefer.
Oh, okay. Fine.
Almost started again. So that's what loop does. Okay, so it keeps playing it and you hit it to stop it.
Loops it, yes.
No, but the thing is, the reason why I was confused is because the not loop, like the one off, if you press the button on the sound mixer again, it starts to sound over again instead of stopping it. And then there's pause, which just pauses it.
Oh.
And then loop is the one that you hit it again and it stops. It stops.
Got it. Okay.
Or else you have to let the whole thing play out. Because in reality, it's meant for one thing. But since I want you to hear the song too, so you can kind of get an idea of when I'm going to come in.
Yes.
Hyper professional.
I'm not sure if
at
that's a
one
good or
time.
bad thing, because then when I start hearing the music, it's like...
It's okay. You'll get used to it. It's a journey and an experience being on the VGXL podcast.
Fun times.
Fun. So, as you were saying, you went to a bridal shower this weekend?
I did. It was a very nice time. I was sitting with the rest of the Puerto Ricans, and we were just not really rowdy in a very calm people out in public sense.
Right. I mean,
So we
it's a party. I mean, it's a bridal shower. It's
no,
supposed
no,
to be a little
of
rowdy
course.
and excited for.
It was very a very nice time. They kept on refilling my drink, so
Oh, you was getting crunk.
and yeah, it was, and the drinks were really good. They were delicious. I don't even know what it was. All I know it was pink and it had orange little slivers in it, and it was delicious. And I had like about 3 or 4 of them, and I'm like, I gotta drive, so I can't. I gotta stop.
You had 6 drinks and you're like, I gotta stop now. See?
I'll take one on the road, thanks.
Where we going?
But everything was really delicious. I had the stuffed mushrooms.
Ooh.
Oh, that was so good. I even tried one of the stuffed clams because my sister did not eat one of hers. The bread was good. The cheesecake dessert was delicious. The what did I have to eat? The salmon. I had the salmon, the grilled salmon with veggies. That was really good too. But it was a really nice time. And the bride to be opened her stuff. Really liked everything. The all the bridesmaids and everything. Mom was there and all that. So it was a really nice. It was a nice chill time. Nice chill time.
Well, I played video games while you were there, so
You had boys' day with the boy.
yeah, I did. I did. Me and G Money, we hadn't played. He's been one. I told him like it's just me and you on Saturday. It's what you want. He's like GTA. I was like GTA 5. Damn children. Damn. No, no. I actually didn't mind. I was like, you know what? I haven't played that done online in forever. Like literally forever. Like we talked. Like I said, we've talked about this in the past where, Jose, who used to be on the podcast, he way back in like 2013 got us in. He knows used to know a developer, or he still
Mhm.
knows him, but a developer that used to work for Rockstar.
Mhm.
Got a friends and family into a private beta. It was like super private too. It was like unknown. We had to sign an NDA. Like it's very like it was super cool because it was like we got emailed directly from the developers at Rockstar. And it was like that's
Mhm.
probably one of the most awesome experiences. This is way before streaming, way before podcasting. It just
Yeah.
felt so exclusive, you know what I mean? To be like a nobody and get access to to the online portion of GTA, which was a game we were like in love with because I love that. I love the main
That was
story.
fun as hell.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. You were in it too.
Hell yeah, it was.
Yeah, we were all in that beta. That beta was super fun, and yeah, just driving around. It was like almost. It felt like there was really nothing like. I mean, GTA 4 had an online component, but this one just felt so much more massive. And then the fact that you could rob stores, and it was basic, but still was brand new for that couple of. It was only a month
Yeah.
that we had
Yeah.
access to it. And then on top of that, you had people in the lobby, which were also friends and family of the
Exactly.
developers. So people who we were like somewhat cable techs, and we're playing with some artists. Like I said, we've told the story. If you've been listening for a while, you probably already know the story. But for anybody who hasn't, or if you've forgotten, yeah, it was like some artist from like that did like the artwork for any books or magazine of Star Wars that came out. He was like an artist for it. I still have him, I think, on my Xbox gamer, my gamer tag. I have his gamer tag still on my friends list, I believe, and or whatnot. But yeah, that was so cool. Like, so it was like not only are we in some like super crazy private beta, but then it was like, ooh, like this guy's from Star Wars. We were just like fangirling at some. He could have
Star
been lying out
Wars.
his ass. We had no idea, but he sounded
I know,
pretty
right?
genuine.
It's the internet. You could be anybody you want.
But then again, it's like he had a private access. This was way before the public release, and then they gave us, because the game like broke or something, or we couldn't get access, they gave us like $1 million in-game dollars, and then
Yes.
yeah, we all got it right,
Yes.
and then because the money took a while, they gave us like another 2 million like in-game
Yep.
currency. So we were rocking. We were like the first ones with like like big ass apartments,
Apartments.
yeah, and the
Yeah.
nicest cars in the game. And people still hadn't gotten that because you had to really grind to get those things. And we had that like day one when it launched. That was, like I said,
Mhm.
that felt super exclusive. And then I never used it. I don't. I think
I know.
I still have that
We
apartment though.
transferred. We transferred the stuff over, remember?
Yeah.
Because we had to transfer the system. And then I remember going back and like a lot of my money was gone. I must have just spent it, I
Yeah, that was
guess.
years ago. So yeah, I don't know.
Damn it.
I don't remember if you got an apartment or not, but
I have an apartment. I know
oh,
that.
okay, it's probably
I
on
had
PlayStation. It has
I
to be
had some
because
cars, but I don't know.
I still have the apartment and I still have my cars. Like I have some nice cars that I can call out,
My
and
cars might be
and then on
missing.
top of that, I've been getting the million every month. Don't forget, get your
Mhm.
million. If you have PS Plus, you can get a
I've been
million.
getting that.
So,
Yes.
so I've been getting just for the hell of it, and not for nothing. Is awesome having it. I have 7 million in game currency right now. That I'm just like, yo,
Oh,
I gotta,
snap.
And then G Money, he was grinding with his friends. He has like an underground base. He showed me like, yeah,
Really?
he has an underground base that is like super exclusive. Like he got kicked out the game towards yesterday, and I got kicked out because I was in his base. It was like his base, and you
Wow.
go in, it's huge, and what you call it, we planned our heist in there, and then the heist, I must say, if you haven't tried GTA's online's heist, they're pretty cool.
I
Like
have to go back to
they're not as
and
good
see
as the
that.
like the story heist, not the one that we did, but the heists are massive. So the way it works is one giant storyline, right? And then you have 5 missions. Four of them are setup missions, and then you have the main heist. So like you have
Mhm.
to like, the first one was like getting. Or I don't know what order we did them in because we played for like hours that day. So I know one of them was like you had to like get some like data tapes, whatever. One of them, and another one was you have to steal a helicopter, like a half helicopter, half airplane type vehicle because it's a setup. So you're getting ready to do the main heist, which requires that helicopter as an escape vehicle. And then you have to
Mhm.
steal a submarine or steal some information from a submarine. So you need to steal this like half car, half submarine car, whatever. So you drive the car into the water, press a button, and it turns into a submarine. And you have to drive underwater, and then you have to get to a big submarine and take out a bunch of guys. And like it was just mayhem. Like me, and then it's meant for 4 people, but we had to, it was just me and him playing. So we're just like freaking shooting it. I had a great time. I must say, I had a great time. And after all that, you do the actual heist, which was crazy. Like the actual heist was, I think that was the last one we did. Yeah, that I had to. He had the escape plane or whatever. I had went to the submarine. I killed all the guys in the submarine, and then you have to escape. Then you find out that the AI is like. Sorry, spoilers, but I'm sure no one's really gonna play that. The
Ah,
like the AI,
la 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 la
I
la.
know, right? Just freaking Jim Carrey. Uh, the AI is like, oh, I want to take over the world or something like that. It was just so crazy, and I like I said, I really enjoyed it. And then I thought he was like, so he was like, it's not over, right? He's like, now we have to do another heist with 5 more setups and then the main heist. And I was like, oh my god. I was like, all right, we'll start that tomorrow. Like, it's a lot of content. Like we spent it was like 5 hours like doing that on Saturday. Like we
I know we
played,
had gotten home and you were still kind of finishing up that last
yeah.
one that you were getting out of the submarine and you're trying to run around in your fins
Oh
and
yeah.
swimming in the really shallow end and you're
Yeah.
getting shot up. Yeah,
That
that
was
that's
that
that's
was really
crazy.
fun. I gotta say, like those little heists they're good. There's all heists. Like I said, doing the teamwork because then you split up into teams. So like I said, there'll be like a ground team and an air team or a team that goes inside like a warehouse and another team that has to wait for the bad guys to show up on the outside and stop them from
Mm.
killing the indoor team. Like that with 4 people. Unless I'm not sure if it's more than four, but that with 4 people it's super fun. That's why GTA has lasted this long, though, because there's really things to do, and a lot of people don't give it credit. All they hear is like, "Oh, they just want money." But I'm like, if you actually played the missions you can do, it finally opened my eyes. So I was like, "Wow, this is why GTA 5 has lasted this long."
Mhm.
It kind of
Mhm.
gets me a slightly excited for 6 because 6 is probably going to be the last game for a long time, and I have a
I'm
feeling
sure.
with the way the world is changing, the world of gaming is changing. Like we've been discussing how things are going NFT and metaverse and all these buyouts. I feel like
Mhm.
that's where Take Two is a shitty company, so they're definitely gonna do NFTs. I'm sure at some point with GTA, it's probably gonna be incorporated into this world somehow. Or I have a feeling that GTA Online 2, just like they're making a Modern Warfare 2. Well, we'll talk about that in a bit, but GTA Online 2, I feel like is gonna come after 6. Like now that 6 is officially confirmed, I think Five's Online, was a nice base game, and now I think
Mhm.
they're probably gonna revamp that and everything they've learned in 5, they'll probably bring over to 6, which for better or for worse. So you
Exactly.
might get some great
Yeah, no, of
experiences,
course.
but microtransactions and all that bullshit, and
Yeah,
probably no
yeah,
sequel,
exactly.
no storyline sequel, probably for a long time. I mean, I'm hoping that maybe what they do is combine the two. So if you want to go on and just do stories, just like they did with Watch Dogs had did that. You could just be doing your main story like I was, and somebody could just
Mm-hmm.
be in your game, and if you want it to be,
Oh,
you
yeah, start
know.
hacking you and everything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I thought that was
yeah.
kind of cool. So it'd be cool, like if like maybe when you beat the game, or maybe in the middle of it, like if you want to turn on online and people be in your game and do a online mission, it would be cool if
Mm-hmm.
they like had a main story, single player, nobody can interfere, and then had like maybe in the middle of that you can just have people jumping in online. You know what I mean?
That's
Uh,
true. I mean, that's a fun option for those people that do want that and don't mind it and don't mind the social interaction on there.
exactly. And then the
Yeah.
thing is, we never got a GTA for this generation. It was only 5 came out at the end of the 360 era. We got 2 for on the 360, PS3
Mm-hmm.
era, and then that were built for that era. And then that's it. We didn't get nothing on PS4. We only had 5 the whole generation. That was it. We didn't get a
Wow.
specific to this generation's GTA. So I have a feeling that whatever comes out is probably gonna launch on the PS4 and 5, just so that they can on the PS4 rather, and I hope not. In a way, I hope it's just next gen, so that way it's like maybe they can really push like what the game is gonna look like and feel like, and take
Mm-hmm.
advantage of the
Mm-hmm.
SSDs and stuff like that. But anyway, I kind of went off the deep end with the GTA, but
Yeah,
it
no,
was
no, no worry. I mean, it's just kind of crazy because you don't realize. Honestly, you hear about it. GTA is being released for this. GTA is being released for that, and this and that, and you constantly hear it. I've forgotten how long it's been out. It's
nine
been out for a
years.
long ass time.
It's good. Well, at the end of this year, it'll be like September. I think it's gonna be 9 years that GTA
Wow.
5 has been out on 3 different console generations, and next month, come March 15th, exactly 1 month from today, or today's the
Hmm.
14th. Happy Valentine's, everyone.
Happy Valentine's.
uh, I think 9 months, 9 months, 1 month from today. I know, right? No,
Nine
no,
months
no,
from
no, no,
today.
no,
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 this is
no,
not an
no more, no
announcement.
more, no more, no more.
Nope.
um, 1 month from today or tomorrow is gonna be the PS5 and Xbox Series S version of GTA. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
officially 3 console generations, and then in another year or so we'll finally get GTA 6. But what else? So what have you been playing besides me playing GTA?
Um. Oh. Oh. Do you want to say what you were playing? I've been playing. Well, I tried out some Sifu this past Thursday. I did. Before Sifu, I played Mago the Villain's Burger, which is
Hmm.
a game that's it's still in the works right now. They have like a you can play it for free right now on Steam, and it's actually a Peruvian YouTuber that decided, hey, I want a game, I want to make a game, so Hype Train Digital picked it up. They're working on it right now, and you can play a portion of it on Steam, and it gives you a retro look. You got um the pixel art in there. You can run around. I love platformers, so I had to try it out
That's
and
the one with the little wizard
run
guy,
around.
right?
Yeah, little wizard guy that turns into a penguin and stuff. And I swear I didn't realize that he turned into I noticed it while I was playing, but then I didn't notice it because I was just so into it
Right.
and running around and doing my platforming. I love my Mario games and running around and speeding and jumping and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So I was just super into it. And but I had a really good time with it. I definitely recommend it. I didn't finish the that free portion that they did offer on there. But I mean, if there's more to come out, I'll definitely have a look at it when it does come out.
Yeah, that game looked pretty fun. I watched you stream a
Yeah.
little bit of that. That game looked pretty fun. I like the whole like. I mean, it's obviously got inspiration from Mario, but it looked pretty
Oh
fun.
yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. No, exactly. I mean, what doesn't get a platformer that doesn't really have a Mario as inspiration? It's
That's
just,
true.
eh. But yeah, definitely check it out. Other than that, I did finally finish Shovel Knight. Um, it was so good. It was so good. So I decided to play the.
Oh,
I
that's
forgot what
right.
it's called.
Uh,
I guess like the prequel
yeah, something of
in a
torment.
sense.
Yeah,
Oh man, but that started really cool. I thought that was really, um, I like the story because you're pretty much recruiting in Shovel Knight. You go around beating all these guys that, the Enchantress gathered up to be on her side, and she's become so powerful. And then you as Shovel Knight have to look for, Shield Knight. Your
Spectre of
love,
Torment, by the
Spectre
way.
of Torment. Thank you, and so you go and you're going through the whole timeline and you have to fight them. It reminded me, Shovel Knight reminded me a lot of Mega Man because you have to go boss to boss to boss. Go through the level and you fight the boss. You go through the level, fight the boss. You don't gain anything from the boss per se, but then you do gain, from the coins. You start leveling up your magic, your health, and you start getting different powers
Right.
with your coin. And so that was really fun. And they make sure you have to use them. And there are some specific levels for some of the moves, and I think that's really cool. And I wasn't good enough to even get through those, so they're sitting there. But I have to go back and kind of complete those so I
Mm-hmm.
can complete that. But um, I definitely need to finish that next one because it's really good, and it got me hooked too. The music's great too, in both of them. Very fun,
Yeah.
um, very fun to play
Yeah, I
too.
was digging the music. What that's one of the reasons why I told you to play because I'm like the music in that game is pretty amazing.
Mhm. Mhm.
Looking up some of the stuff, I had no idea that they have a few spin-off games. Yacht Club. That I'm surprised that
Yeah.
they're doing they're doing what's it called? They're raising money or whatever.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That next one, the I forgot what that one's called now.
But yeah, they have a few spin-offs. There's King of Cards, which is another like spin-off. And it looks like
Hmm.
it's a side scroll. It actually looks pretty awesome. If you go to the Steam page, there it's a different character who spins around. Um,
Oh,
and then
cool.
there's like a fighter called Showdown, Shovel Knight Showdown.
Shovel Knight Showdown. Cool. And it's Mina the Hollower.
Yeah, that one. I'm surprised, but I'm like,
That one
they can't
looks
afford.
cool.
I'm surprised that they can't afford to do it themselves. That they're doing a Kickstarter for it. I'm just a little bit weirded out by that. Like, why are they doing a Kickstarter? I mean, there's just something I just never seen that before.
Mhm.
Typically,
Mhm.
Shovel Knight's a very successful game. You hear about it everywhere. It's and you would think that they could just pay for the next one. So I'm a little surprised that they're doing a Kickstarter for the Mina game.
I mean, that's true. It's I mean, no, and then it's I don't know. I guess it's hard to say. They've already raised about a third, a little over a third of what they needed in the Kickstarter already. It seems, but
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Didn't they?
I want to
They didn't
say
smash that goal already?
no. I think it just not long ago, maybe like a week or two ago, the Kickstarter started.
No, but I thought they already smashed the goal.
Did they?
Yeah. Yeah, the pledged was the goal was 311,000. They're at 819,000 right now.
Oh snap! I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, they smashed that goal a while ago. Like when we first saw it, they had already.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's so successful.
Oh.
I'm surprised that the other games are so successful. I'm surprised that they even did that. But
Mhm.
oh well.
Mhm.
I mean, like I said, who knows? Maybe this is like I said. Maybe they need the extra money to help fund.
Yeah, Yacht Club are financing the majority of the game. The campaigns for purposes of both building even more content, but more importantly, building a community who can provide feedback on the game and its universe as it develops.
Oh, I see. That's what it was. So it's like
Hmm.
so
Oh,
there.
that's right. Because then, just like Shovel Knight, they have all these different spin-offs, like you saw,
That's right.
and
So it's like they're gonna fund the game, and then this is to fund more stuff from the
and
game.
then some. Yeah, all that DLC that they've got coming out.
All right, fine.
Yeah.
I'll leave it alone. Like I said, it just always seems strange.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's
Yeah.
just like, shouldn't you, like have enough money to build your next game and rely on
Yeah.
your what's that called? Your success, pretty much.
Yeah.
Well,
I know,
whatever.
especially since they have all the cameos in other games and all that. Like
So I'm saying like
yeah,
they've made some money.
it's a
That's why I'm
lot.
like I'm sure that
Mhm.
That's why I'm
Mhm.
like it's just a little strange to me that they need even to raise 300,000 like that, but it is what it is. I mean, like I said, so I think
You
the
got a
next game is
supportive
gonna be good.
community.
Yeah,
That community is definitely supportive once they see a good ass quality game.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, oh wait, did you mention Sifu? Oh yeah, you said Sifu. Yeah, I was
I
watching you
did mention
streams.
Sifu. I didn't go into detail.
I'm so mad. Oh man, I was watching you play Sifu, and I'm here struggling, like telling her, like, all right, so you got to be careful because you're probably gonna die and you're gonna be old, and because if you're not already aware, Sifu is it's a kung fu game, or that pretty much every time you die, you get older, right? So it starts with like
Mhm.
1 year, but if you die again, then your kill count gets added to your age. So if you die 6 times, you age by 6 years. And if you die, again, then it's 7 years. It keeps going until you hit until you hit the decade of your 70s. Once you pass 79, that's it. You're dead for good. And then when you beat a
Mhm.
level, if you get a game over, you start whatever level you've unlocked. You can replay that level at the age you unlocked it at. So the first time I beat the level one, I was like 68 years old, and then I tried to beat it again. It was the same thing. I was like 65 maybe, and then I'm watching her stream and she beats the level at 27. I'm like, on the first try, I'm like, are you kidding me? I couldn't even start the second level because I was too old. I'm like, I'm not gonna start now because I'm probably gonna end up dying. And so I'm just like, really, really here, just like, wow. But not for nothing. That was pretty badass, I gotta say. I play around like I'm hating, but no, that's pretty. I like to see you do well in games because it's like, I'm the gamer, but like I'd rather see you do well. I don't know, that's just me. I'd rather see you do well and not be frustrated by games with a challenge. And here everyone's crying about difficulty, blah blah blah. And look at you come here and you just whip that ass. Whip that
That
ass.
was
I'm telling you, you
fun.
killed that boss like nothing at 20. You only died a couple of times. And that was your first try. Imagine going around
It was.
again
Yeah.
and like really putting work in. You put no
Mhm.
effort in, like no like training before you streamed. No like just I mean, I know I gave you a couple of pointers, but other than that, like, pointers don't mean shit in the heat, you know what I mean? So it's like
Exactly. Exactly.
so I'm just like, not you taught me how to what you showed me what I was doing wrong because you was doing the little in place dodges, and I'm just like I'm like I saw that you were doing that, and that's what got me. Now I'm at 25. I think was the youngest I beat the first
Ah.
level.
Nice, nice. Yeah, no, it
So
was really fun. It felt good. The hits and everything, they felt good. They landed.
that's
I was
true.
just like, oh, I got smacked by one of the bad guys and I felt that smack. It was like a bah, they backhanded me and I fell to the floor. I'm like, ooh, oh, my heart.
Exactly, exactly. No, the game is fun. I'm enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it, and it sucks because it's like first I'm sad that it came out of the door with controversy. So first Sony goes and doesn't do well with the game. I don't know. Did I say this last week? I think I might have said this before, but like it just
I'm
sucks
not
because
sure.
they out the door already. It's like, oh, the if you pre-ordered it, it wasn't unlocking properly, and
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
I think I did mention that, right? And then after
Mm-hmm.
that, then the fanboys are like, oh, game's too hard, and people are crying that's too hard this and too hard that, and now they're announcing that they're actually gonna release a difficulty mode. But I'm like, okay, fine, but it's not a story. It's not that much of a story-driven game. I feel like difficulty levels should be good for story games. This has a story, so you have a reason to play the game besides fighting. Like there's a reason to
Mm-hmm.
get to the end, but it's a very light story. So it's like, what is this difficulty for? Like I feel like. What do you need easy mode for? To mash your way through it and then that's it? You're gonna beat it in 30 minutes and in 2 hours. It's not a very long game. So
Mm-hmm.
that's my issue with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very short game. It's not that hard to master. It only took me a few tries. And like I said, once I got the aha moment when I saw, realized what I was doing wrong, it's like a couple of tips and pointers and that game is not that hard. It's really not that hard.
Yeah.
It's no Dark Souls. It's not, and there's shortcuts in the game. So once you beat the
There's
first level, you can
shortcuts.
fly through the
Yes.
game. So you're not going through the tedium of redoing whole sections of the first level that you're just like, oh. So I
And
don't know.
honestly, you can even kind of in a sense cheese it. Like because if you replay it, then you can there's some moves that you can if you use your experience points correctly, you can unlock a move permanently.
Exactly.
So if you even if you're just replaying the first level and you play it, you beat a few guys, you play it, you beat another few guys, and then you just save up your points and then you unlock a move and then the next move because then even some moves you can't even unlock if you pass a certain
That's
age.
true. So it's true.
Then
Like every time you start over, and then the thing is, like you said,
yeah,
you have to permanently unlock a move. You have to put experience points towards it 5 times in one
yeah.
run. Not in one.
And
Not even.
technically,
Excuse me. Not even in one run. You have to put.
yeah,
You have to unlock it, and then put a second. Like if it's 500
exactly.
experience points, you have to do the initial unlock. Then get another 500 experience, and then you start. It starts counting towards your permanent unlocks. So you
Mhm.
have to do it twice
Mhm.
per game to get that down, and it's not that hard. It's really not that hard.
It's not. It's
Yeah,
not.
even if you age through the whole thing, you can keep putting it to the same until you get enough moves, and then you can move on. Like the game is built around you progressing, like eventually progressing. So it's like yes, it's difficult at first, but the more you if and if you do that, if you go the route of cheesing, like you said, like spamming the first level to unlock more permanent moves, by the time you
Yeah,
get to your second move of permanent, like you're probably already mastering the game. So now it kind of forces,
exactly.
yeah, it'll get easier, but at the same time, you're permanently unlocking moves, you're getting better at the game. So it's already has like I feel like those checks and balances of easy mode. Once you have all the moves unlocked, I'm sure the game is much easier. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like that's why I'm like, I don't think they should add an easy mode. Like only for that,
Yeah.
only because it's
Yeah.
already designed well enough. That's the problem. It's
Mhm.
designed well enough to avoid
It's
that.
designed pretty
And
good,
and
yeah.
and games as an art is an art form. And sometimes it's like you're censoring it in a way. Now I get there's accessibility options, and if they do it for accessibility, like even that could be like auto combos or something that I could see, like because there are one-handed players out there, and I and I
That's
and I
true.
feel for people who have who are missing a few fingers or
Enjoy
an
that
arm
kind of
or a
game.
hand, like this guy
Mhm.
who built he wanted to play It Takes Two. This is like a complete like this is I should have showed you this story. It was from like last week or the week before. He wanted to play It Takes Two um by himself, and he's not
Mhm.
disabled or whatever, but he 3D printed a whole module that you can put on the back of the controller. I don't know if it was Xbox or PlayStation that he used, and then you can put the player 2 on your leg, and you can use the analog stick, so you can use one, so you can pretty much I think it allowed him to connect two controllers together, and then the second controller, it moves the analog stick with his leg. So if you have to move at the same time, or on a table, you know what I mean. So
Mhm.
it goes on the bottom, and then you use the pressure from the bottom to move the analog stick. And I'm like, that's fucking genius.
Oh.
I was like, I really like that idea. And it was like, even though he built it just for himself and as a little project, that's great for one handed people. Imagine using that for, you want to play a game and you don't need your other hand. You can use the analog stick to,
That's
on your leg or
interesting.
something on a table, and just use your, let's say if you lost your right hand or whatever. And it's adjustable so that if you're missing your left hand rather would normally be, for the analog stick. But if you're missing your left hand, it changes it around so that it'll press that if you're missing your right hand, it makes up for that. You know what I mean? Like it
Mhm.
actually
Mhm.
allows you to flip it around, so it doesn't matter which hand you're missing. You can always play on a controller. They've been talking about one-handed controllers for years. I think the first time I ever
Yeah.
heard about that was like the 360 era for sure, like around like pre 2010. I'm sure that I read something about like people thinking of ideas for one-handed controllers, and I think that's freaking dope. Like the more people to play
Mhm.
video games, the
Mhm.
better. But
Oh
certain
yeah.
games, it's like that shouldn't stop the integrity of a game. And even though no, it doesn't hurt anybody, you can still play it the way it's meant to be played. I feel like, I mean, I guess it is what it is, right? It's like fuck it. I don't even
Yeah.
care. It's like a part of me, yes, feels like you don't want to mess up the integrity of the game. But at the end of the day, it's like just understand that on the easy mode is just gonna take away from the game. But some people don't care about that. It's like fuck it. I want to try. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If that makes it more fun for me, and easy mode still requires some kind of skill, like but not as much. Why the hell not? So I'm not even gonna complain about that, or that's not a hill I care
I
to die
know.
on.
It
You know
just
what I
kind
mean?
of
Like.
exactly. It doesn't really make a difference to us
Because it
per
doesn't hurt
se.
me at the end of the day. The more I think about it, I'm
Exactly.
like, who cares? Like, if, because it's true. I think it's so amazing that, these tools come out for people with disabilities and can't do it. And,
Mhm.
there's dudes out there doing, there's people out there doing amazing things.
Yes. Yes,
you
absolutely.
know, who are less privileged than us, you know, and things like that. So, but yeah, besides Sifu that I did play as well, because watching you playing it was like got me into it that night. I was like, I gotta beat this first level.
I know I gotta go back to it and
Same here. The
finish that
reason
up.
I have is because then Lost Ark came out, you know, blew up this past week, and that's
Ah,
been
yes,
pretty
Lost
fun.
Ark.
It's okay if you like
Mm-hmm.
Diablo. Lost Ark is a pretty cool game. It is free to play, so microtransactions up the ass, as well
Yes.
as I mean that's pretty much it. Microtransactions everywhere. It's a little free to play ish or whatever because they have like potions and things you can buy, but I think those are earnable things. So you know or whatever. I think all gear is like you have to grind for, but I think you can legit like buy like items to help you, which I still don't care for, but I don't think
Mm-hmm.
it really takes away from the game and it's not a PvP. Well, it has PvP in it, but I'm not sure how that works, so I can't comment on that. But what I will say and what got me into it, and this is something that I find very important that me and you have discussed multiple times, is the visceral feeling of hitting something in a game. And
Yes.
I think Lost Ark has that down, you know, has that down to a T,
Yes.
like where you swing a sword, you do a spell, when it hits the monsters, it's like, brah, 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 you know, it's like you
Yeah, you
feel
feel
it.
it. You feel the ground in the game. I really liked because um I've already forgotten what job I picked. I picked like the sorcerer's job. And it's I really liked, like, let's say you had like 10 monsters coming at you, and I did my move, I did my swing, and then I brought them all together, and I was beating the crap out of all of them at the same time, so they were all bouncing in the air, bouncing all around. I was like, oh yeah, I'm kicking all your butts. It felt so cool. It was
Yeah.
really good. It felt thick. I
Yeah,
don't like,
exactly. No,
if
like
there's
it's
a
like
word for it, it felt
crunchy,
thick.
like that
Yeah.
crunchy hits, you know, like it makes
Yeah.
you feel it through the game, through the audio design. And that to me is one of the most important has become one of these most important aspects of a game, sound design.
Yes.
and people and it's coming up more and more and I think Sony's taking the right steps where they care about sound design, having 3D audio be part of their philosophy of game design. I think is
Mm-hmm.
very important. The fact that they have dedicated headphones for that, things like that. So I think more and more more and more companies are using this. And you know, like sorry to say, but Fortnite is one of the I feel like has really gotten that perfectly. Like you can just you
That's
know have
true.
knowing where the direction someone's coming. Like you hear it on the left, you know they're there. You hear it above you. You know, I think sound design really matters because we played
Yes.
this indie game a few years back. I forgot the name of it. It was a indie kaiju fighting game, and not fighting game, but like you know, like kind of
It looked like a rampage
like a
in a sense,
rampagey style
and
game, yeah, where a destruction game where you just blow the things up, and there was no crunch to the hits. It was very
yes.
like you know what I mean, like very like you doing all
Yeah,
this
on top of the
destruction, and it's
characters
like
being
it felt like nothing was
floaty and
happening.
yeah, it wasn't it
Very
wasn't
floaty
very
feeling,
good.
very like light, like you're hitting things with a feather, and I'm like I shouldn't feel like I'm hitting. That's honestly and I don't feel like it's talked about enough, but that's my biggest complaint about Spider-Man, the original 2018, and with the remake Spider-Man. Batman had the sound design perfect. You punch
Oh
somebody,
yeah.
boom, you know, you felt like you really
Yes.
punched them in the face. Where Spider-Man, it felt like again a lot of little taps. It felt like you're going. You hear that? Like,
Mhm.
you know, it just
Mhm.
felt like you were.
Yeah, you felt the little smacks, but yeah,
Yeah, I
Batman
think
used to
Miles
get
Morales fixed some of
good.
that, but Spider-Man 2018, that was my biggest issue. I'm hoping
Mhm.
that that is something other people discuss. Maybe they, you know, and for the sequel, will you know they'll fix that a little bit. But to me, that's not something that's talked about nearly enough. That those little smacks and stuff that didn't happen in that
Mhm.
Spider-Man didn't do that great of a job. It was a great game, super fun, loved the web singing, but the fighting was the fighting sound design was just a little bit too low, a little bit too light for me, and I think it needed
Mhm.
some more crunch to each punch. You know, and with that
Yeah.
being said, Dying Light 2 is also a game I've been playing, and that for sure has been one of see Dying Light 2 I'll say I've been having a lot of fun with it. I've been playing it every day. I want to get through it as like I've been grinding trying to get through that game because Horizon's coming out this Friday and I want to be all over Horizon
Mhm.
because the reviews are out today, Monday the 14th, and they've been rave reviews for the
They
most
have been
part.
really good.
And you
Mhm.
know, which we're gonna get into in a little bit. But with that coming, I want to finish Dying Light 2. And I gotta say, that I think there was some issues, some technical issues on when it launched, and it's not the most optimized. It runs only 1080p 60 on PS5, and it's not the and on PC it's like I can't max it out. I can't get past 30 frames with a 5900X and a 3080. It's like I can't have ray tracing on with max graphics. I have to like lower a bunch of shit. But I do get a solid 144 with no ray tracing. And that game, I will say, while it's not breaking any, it's not genre changing in the open world or zombie field, and it didn't do nearly. It's not. It doesn't. I will admit, it doesn't have the impact of what Part One had, where the parkour and zombie fighting was brand new. There was nothing like it before. You had maybe the closest you had was Mirror's Edge, and that wasn't a zombie fighting. It was more of a puzzle runner game. Where this was like took that idea and blended it with crafting and killing zombies and all kinds of stuff in an open world environment. And I found that extremely fun and different. This feels honestly, the worst part is that it feels like more of the same. But what I will give it its props, it's the gameplay is perfect. Like I feel like they really knew what they were doing. Like they took everything that was great about Part One and it really shines in this game. Whereas it's kind of reminds me of Halo Infinite. Halo Infinite didn't do anything new at all to help like first person open world genre. It feels like any other Halo game, but they did fix their sound design is on point. Like when you're shooting at the back in the single player mode, you're shooting at the bad guys, like their helmets crack open or fly off their heads, and that it's really satisfying. And when you play the multiplayer mode, I gotta say, like in Halo, it's polished gameplay, super polished gameplay. You're playing it, you want to do the thing, it does the thing really well. The movement and all that is so well done, in my opinion, for the game it's trying to be. And even though graphically it's nothing crazy, story wise it's nothing crazy, and even the design of the main stories, but the gameplay, it is super polished. And I would say that's what I'm really enjoying about Dying Light. Super polished gameplay. Story is, I don't know, the biggest complaint I've seen in the story. I mean, it's just opening up, so maybe it gets boring. Because I think I did read that somewhere, that the story opens up decent enough, and then it becomes like a okay kind of situation. So I haven't gotten to that yet. So far, the story opened up really nicely. I'm really enjoying it. It's good enough. It's not like, oh my god, I've never seen a story like this. It's a typical kind of story, but it's good. It's a reason to play, but obviously what shines is the gameplay, running, climbing buildings, jumping,
Parkour.
yeah, exactly, hardcore parkour. And then when you have like, it's all hand-based weapons, which I'm kind of happy about because I don't have to play with a mouse and keyboard. I can play with my controller because you don't need to aim, so hitting those zombies in the face, and with whatever mallet or hammer or makeshift weapon you have in your hand, oh man, it feels really, really good. And just watch it, like splatter everywhere. Yeah, and then they have a lot of cool little like mini games you can do, and like like little races you can do, and funny side quests. Like the side quests are like good enough. Like I don't know, this it's doing its job. I gotta say, Dying Light 2 has been a pleasure to play, and like I said, because you can make choices, which I've already heard that the choices really don't matter the way they were saying it matters, but to me they're good enough. You know what I mean? Like I'm curious as to what happens. There's some choices I've had to make that I mean, I guess in the bigger picture don't matter, but I guess in the short term do kind of matter, and I wouldn't mind seeing that at some point. Like I said, we have it on PlayStation, and as well, and like I said, I'd be down to play, or even if co-op comes cross-platform, I'd be down to play from the beginning again with so we can do co-op, because the game apparently is fully co-op. It's like that's one thing that I'm missing out right now, is that it's fully co-op. So zombie hunting together sounds awesome,
No, that sounds great. I would definitely appreciate that in this game.
Yeah, where we're just like, come on,
I'm a punk sometimes, so
I think at some point we should try to get our, like, in the future, like once
running.
these games calm down.
Yeah. Running zombies are not my friend, and I do have my motion sickness patches, so
Exactly.
I can definitely join in on the fun.
No, I think we should try it. Like I said, I think it sounds like it would be a lot of fun. I don't know if there's any PvP or like the way the whole like, but you can't call for help. Like let's say you're dying a lot or something. You can actually call like a player to come help you, which I haven't
Cool.
explored yet. I need to see how that works out. But yeah, Like, I don't know. It's fun. I think it's a good game. I think it's good for what it is. You know, if you are a huge fan of Dying Light 1, probably, like I said, it's probably not different enough for you to care. And I know that
Mm-hmm.
like the hardcore fans are a little bit disappointed that it's not changing much. But if you don't, if you only played it once, the original game, and didn't continue playing all the extra content that got released, and you know, and it's you haven't played since 14 that it released, or 2015, then
Mm-hmm.
this is definitely a game to play. It's fun as shit. I definitely, you know, I'm having fun with it. So, but
Nice.
yeah, so that's been my couple of days. Um, but yeah, you know, now we can move on. We kind of talked a lot right now about all these games we're playing, but there are some news things I want to go over, for
Mm-hmm.
sure. It looks like so today's the 14th. Capcom is like announcing there's like some countdown or some shit on their page. So who knows? Somebody put up a fake tweet like, oh, you know, Microsoft's gonna buy Capcom. I'm like, oh hell no. I had to like look
I
at that closely.
better
Like,
not.
I I
I
don't want
wouldn't
to.
think Konami would even, excuse me, I wouldn't expect that to be something that they would allow.
I don't I don't see Capcom doing that.
Yeah.
They in the 2010s they were like selling their soul. They released a lot of middle of the road games. They were outsourcing a lot
Mm-hmm.
of their help, and they finally,
Mm-hmm.
with Monster Hunter World and Resident Evil 7, they brought those games in house, and they stopped doing this outsourcing garbage. And they've been
Mm-hmm.
on top ever since. I think their weakest release was probably Street Fighter 5 was probably their weakest release since they kind of reinvented them, not reinvented, but like kind of came back from that mid, you know, crap of a company. You know, all their
Mm-hmm.
Resident Evils
Mm-hmm.
were like Resident Evil 5, Resident Evil 6 was just not were not good at all. 5 was okay, but it's just, you know, they steered away from the game, and then, you know, they just released a bunch of stupid games that were just like, what is Capcom doing right now? So, you know, let's see what happens. I mean, they're thinking there's something that's supposed to happen with Street Fighter, so we'll see. Um, you know, I hope it's something really cool. I don't know. I'm like, you know, I still have to get to Monster Hunter Rise, but that I have it on Switch, so I'm like, it's that's a game that will suck me in, and I have too many games to play, so I guess we'll worry
Yes.
about that later. Um, oh, but the Nintendo Direct, you watched that. You saw some of that. Was there anything that you remember that stuck
Yes.
out to you that you're excited for?
Yeah. Klonoa. Hello. I love my Klonoa. That announcement was what I was jumping for joy about. Klonoa is my shit. That was like the first game I like played through when I was the early teens. I rented it from Blockbuster and I actually beat it and I cried my little eyes out because I was so happy and sad in the middle of the game. But it was so good. I never played the second one though. So this, and then I know it came out for the Wii U, the
Oh, that's
remaster or whatever,
right.
and we got it. I just never played through it. I don't remember clearly why, but I would totally, after how many years now, I would totally want to play through it and I want to play the second one.
I want to
So
see you
I
stream
want it.
that or something. I want to watch you play that.
Yes. Yes. Everybody needs to see Klonoa gameplay. It's such a sweet story.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
so
It's
that's I'm
fun.
excited for that. I mean, I just
Fun
want
platformer too.
I think some of the cool things that released on that on the state of play on the Nintendo Direct, same shit, right?
Yeah,
um
sure.
Kirby and the Forgotten Lands. Now that thing is like, I'm surprised I didn't see more jokes, but mouthful mode really got
Oh
me like,
yeah,
I'm
those
sorry, I'm
it's
immature.
very
I was like,
that
mouthful?
was very sad.
Huh?
Hmm.
Eh?
Kirby mouthful, and they threw a whole car in his mouth and everything.
Hey yo. It's like, yo, but that game looks fun. I think that might be
Yes.
March 25th. There has to be something else coming out that around that time, but if I have the time, I really want, that's a game that I think I want to mess around with. You know,
Mhm.
that might even be a
Mhm.
game that maybe you can play with like Baby Girl or something like that. Like you know, it's a
Oh
two-player game, I
yeah.
believe, and I'm actually like excited for
Yes.
that. And
Yes.
then
Yes. 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 Yes.
what
And
else was
don't forget the sports games. We're getting volleyball. Woo! Volleyball.
huh, huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, to me,
response. Yeah. I
You
mean,
know what my issue is? That I have a feeling that shit's gonna cost $60, and
yeah, it
that's gonna be
is.
my problem. If that game is $60, I'm not getting that. There's no way. I
Yeah,
refuse. 40 is pushing it.
it
Eh,
is.
you
Yeah,
know, but
sadly, 'cause Nintendo always charges way too much for their games. Way too freaking much. And every time a $60 game is on sale, or not even $50 game is it's on sale, $40. Get it while it's hot because it's gonna go right back up. And nothing goes below $40 until it's like 2 decades later, and like the fifth freaking part of the game comes out, and that's even barely.
exactly. They don't care. They don't care.
You
It's
have to
like you
save
want to
up all
play.
your gold coins for
Exactly.
years.
That's their discount. Keep
Yeah,
buying a bunch of games and you can use your discount coins. Like that's it.
yeah,
Like they don't give a shit, and that's my problem. And then
yeah.
I have to say, I think the funniest thing that like and a sad and annoying at the same time. It's just kind of funny because I'm just like at this point I just don't even care about Nintendo all that much. Is the fact that everyone's like Mario Kart 9, Mario Kart 9, we need Mario Kart 9, Mario Kart 9, Mario Kart 9. I'm like, hey, here's
Nope.
Mario Kart 8 DLC for the next 2 years. And it's
Yeah.
gonna, and I mean, in a small way, I know I already see what's happening. I see what's
Yes.
happening. This is my prediction. They're working on the next Switch. It's not going to be just a simple upgrade. Hopefully, it'll be backward
Mhm.
compatible. But it is Nintendo, and knowing them, it may not even be backward compatible. I think it'll be a huge mistake if they don't. But I have their next console it needs to come out, and based on history, it's going to be underpowered. It's going to be, because they want to make money off the actual parts that they sell. And
Mhm.
that will have the sequels to everything that people want. So I have a feeling it's going to launch with Zelda, just like they did with
Absolutely.
the other one. Maybe Zelda will probably run on the main Switch, but you're going to get like the definitive looking edition on the new Switch, hopefully.
Mhm.
And who
Mhm.
knows if they'll even like something tells me that they're gonna screw us in some capacity with like making the carts like making it backward compatible, but you have to buy the cart. You know what I mean? Like the way the DS and 3DS had different cart slots, even though that doesn't really
Mhm.
matter, right? That doesn't really matter. I mean, that like it's not gonna be the same carts. They're probably gonna have some new proprietary shit, but regardless, 20 if it's through 2023, to me that tells me that that's when we're going to get a new Switch, but not Mario Kart 9 right away, or a new Nintendo console. And but I have a feeling uh we're going to get that announcement to August, September. We're going to get the announcement for the 2023 release of whatever they're launching.
Yeah, that
So
makes sense. And then anything that they release just like this, the Mario Kart extra tracks, they're gonna put behind that. The premium subscription paywall, pay $25 or upgrade.
exactly.
Just like they did with the Animal Crossing.
It seems like a smart move for now. Like, you know what I mean? Like okay, you
We'll
get the
see what
Animal
else they
Crossing
hide
DLC, but you
behind
get the
there.
full year. You know what I mean? You're getting the
Mhm.
whole year.
Mhm.
So you're gonna pay $25 anyway, and they know that. But this is only
Yeah.
gaining value. So in another 2 years, if you haven't bought any of this shit, now you get the Animal Crossing, you get the Mario Kart Deluxe stuff, and who knows what'll happen next? They're gonna, next year we'll get
Exactly.
a DLC for something else.
Exactly. I mean, now they also added the Earthbound.
No, I was gonna get into that next.
Just
Yep,
this.
Earthbound is. I'm
Yeah.
excited because apparently the creator wants Mother 3 now to be finally localized, which I feel like it's like you can't ask something from Nintendo because then when you ask too hard, it's like, oh, you want that really bad? Don't worry, we'll give it to you. When we need our stocks to go up a little bit or something, and
Exactly.
like
They noted down. They're like, they want this. We're gonna hold this here until it's the right time, and they're
exactly.
gonna pay up the ass for it because we're Nintendo and they love us.
Oh my god, and that'll be what gets launched next year. $25, you get Mother 3. you
Yep.
know,
Yep.
or you can just buy
Exactly.
it for $25. Because it's a Super Nintendo game.
Yep.
Like that's what they do. But I guess other things worth mentioning, the Chrono Cross remaster, which I thought was kind of interesting. I actually
Mhm.
had that game back
Mhm.
in the day. Even though it's not as good as Chrono Trigger. Chrono Trigger is actually a really good game. I actually recommend that even for you. Like, I know you were never like a huge RPG person, but you did get through like Final Fantasy VII, the
Yes.
original. So I actually recommend that because you can see the monsters, which is cool. And I think the characters are actually a little bit better than some of the characters in Final Fantasy. Like
Okay.
you have like a talking frog and other non-human characters, which makes it way more interesting in
I
some
like
respect.
talking frogs.
Plus the time travel. It's about time travel. That's why it's called
Yeah.
Chrono
Chrono. Yeah.
Chrono Trigger. So yeah, I highly recommend playing that if you
I'm
haven't.
definitely down to play. Absolutely.
You better get to Mario RPG for
I
Mario
know
month.
I have so many
You have
things to
2 weeks.
play.
You have 2 weeks to
Oh,
prepare.
that's right. Mario March Madness.
You have 2 weeks to prepare. Mario
Yeah, I'll definitely
RPG.
be playing Mario RPG for March.
And
Dressed up
the
as
creator
Mario.
just said he wants a sequel. So I think now is the perfect
Yes.
time to just you're gonna like it. You saw the opening, how awesome that
Yeah.
opening was,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like I
Yeah.
said, I think what's gonna make it more fun versus like a old Final Fantasy game is like I said, the whole like that they made it fun to even do the, like I said, when you do the hit,
Oh, the
that
timing
if
on
you
the
time it right, he
animation.
does the second hit or whatever, or the jump, and then it does a second jump, and then you have Malo or whatever his name is, the marshmallow character that's with you. He does the same thing. Like he has his own set of moves, and
It
y-
sounds satisfying. Get the button pressed right, and you're just like, ta-ta.
exact. No, it's true. And then you have like other
Mm-hmm.
little power ups, like your fire flower moves, and seeing it all in an RPG way. The first time they did it was really interesting, and they still
Mm-hmm.
have their little. It's very minor, but they still have little platforming sections. Like I said, it's very
Mm-hmm.
basic platforming sections, but they're there. And
Mm-hmm.
so there's things you have to jump over, and if you fall in the water, you suffer. You got to do it over again. Like they have
Mm-hmm.
platforming sections in the game, and it's cool. When I remember, this was like in '95 ish, like right when the 64 came out, that game dropped, and they did. I remember I was like, "What's the difference?" I thought they were like the same game. I thought it was like the lower end version of Mario 64. So I thought Mario
Mm-hmm.
64 and Mario RPG were like similar games because of that 3D kind of look or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. So I always loved the graphics, those that little overhead 3D graphics that they made with it, and yeah, I don't know. I think, like I said, I seriously think you're gonna enjoy yourself, like just the
I definitely
story,
look
the
forward to it.
characters, the
Yep.
music, and then the battles can get interesting, and then
Mm-hmm.
you never
Mm-hmm.
played Paper Mario either, right?
No,
Yeah, that's
I
another
gotta
one
play
that I
that
hear
one
the
too.
first one is really good for 64. So we got to get you on that too.
Ah, so many
Yeah,
games, so little time.
I know. But definitely get to Mario RPG. If you don't want to do another RPG, then I mean, there's so many other games. And then you have like the Game Boy Advance Mario RPG games. Like those
Mm-hmm.
were closer to the original. Like if everyone says, "Oh, there was a sequel, Paper Mario." I'm like, nah, the Game Boy, the GBA games, like Bowser's Inside
Mm-hmm.
Story, Superstar Saga, those games were very close to what Mario RPG was. Not as good, but
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
gameplay mechanics very close. They keep the whole like timing the button presses and all that for the extra hit, and all that's important. So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I can't wait to see to. I'm glad that Earthbound, and then they call it Earthbound Origins, which is just Mother. No,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
just so silly that they renamed it that. I'm like, Earthbound Beginnings is just Mother, for
Mm-hmm.
NES, which another cool game to play.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah,
What else was there? They announced Portal
yeah, Portal, yeah,
and No Man's Sky.
that's cool too.
Those are we
Even
already
though I'm
have
like,
them
I'll wait for No
on
Man's Sky on
Steam.
the Steam Deck. I'm not gonna,
Exactly. I was
and
just gonna
Portal.
say. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not. There's no way I'm playing that on the Switch. It's gonna look like trash. So
Exactly.
sorry to
But now
say.
they also what else? There was Taiko no Tatsujin,
Yeah, Rhythm Festival.
Rhythm
Yeah,
Festival. I'm excited for that, even though I still haven't played the first one. But I need to definitely play that. I need to stop lollygagging.
yeah. You do. You definitely need to get on that.
I'll play it.
And then like Force Unleashed, which I think is the Wii version. So it's which is like the worst looking version. So it's like it's a little bit weird that it's that version. Like really, but I guess they must have the license for that. MLB The Show is gonna be there, which didn't look too
Yeah.
great. And then
Yay.
and then they released the triangle whatever it's called demo, which I have to try it. That I need to. Oh, and if you played live alive, which apparently is in, they like not upscaled it, but did that whole like the way Octopath Traveler kind of looked to it. It didn't look like that obviously on Super Nintendo. They gave it like that look, you know.
Mm.
Um, and then they triangle strategy. That I need to get on the ball with that, because that look,
Mhm.
oh, that comes out
Mhm.
March 4th. Wow, that's like in another what 3 weeks, right?
Oh.
Yeah, 2.5 weeks
Happy birthday to games.
for me.
Yeah.
All right, well that's, I mean, that was, it was an okay direct. I mean, I
Yeah,
wasn't
nothing
expecting
too
much.
crazy.
Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
And then I forgot that what headlined that, if you're a fan, was Xenoblade Chronicles 3 for in
Ah, yes,
September.
yes, yes,
That
yes,
was like
yes.
the big release, the big announcement or whatnot,
Mhm.
which seemed cool. It definitely seemed cool. I
Mhm.
never played the other ones though, so I'm just like, I don't know. I want to get to those games, but it's like it seems so intimidating because they're massive like RPGs. So it's just like so much, you know what I mean? Like it's hard
Yeah.
enough to get to like these other like games, so let alone a RPG you have to like grind and do the whole nine with or whatever.
Mhm. Mhm.
But really quick, because we're spending a lot of time right now, so more than I wanted. But really, some really quick news was Yakuza creator Nagoshi. They're saying, because they're working with NetEase, and the biggest fear when everyone heard that, they're the creators of Yakuza. So if you like the Yakuza games, they left Sega to work with NetEase, who primarily makes mobile games. They've officially stated they're not making mobile games. They want to stick to the games that they know. They're going to make narrative-driven dramas,
Mhm.
drama driven rather, games, or whatever, like they always do. And he has things that he's been wanting to work on apparently for years, and they're in the preliminary stages of making their first game. So I'm excited. That was like great news. I was like, okay, that's cool. Like, when they're freed from the clutches of Sega apparently, and now he gets to make a game he wants to play, and they're gonna stick to the whole like, story base, that they've always been doing. So hopefully it's good. Hopefully
Mhm.
it's just as good. Hopefully they keep the wackiness. Hopefully it's not just too much of a Yakuza game, but in different clothing, like the way, like the way that Fist of the North Star game was. Not that that was bad, but you know, you don't just want like the same shit. So hopefully whatever it is, it's you know maybe the style is there, but it's different enough to set itself apart from the Yakuza titles.
Mhm. Mhm.
Then Infinity Ward is making Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2 in a new engine from the ground up. They've admitted that the first game they've kind of screwed it up, and they want to do better. I'm excited, because I played a lot. I know you don't really play Call of Duty, but I played a lot of Modern Warfare. I've been playing since Black Ops 4. I've been playing consistently, and and every it's in my rotation since Black Ops 4. Black Ops 3, I was on and off with that game. I never really got good at it. I was playing on controller a lot, but Black Ops 4 is the one that I really like got into and enjoyed it. And so and now I've been like, so I'm not an old school COD fan, so I didn't play. There's many I missed out on because I was a Halo fan back in the day, and then by the time PS4 came out, I just did not care about Call of Duty at all. So,
Mhm.
and then Destiny came out. So I was like, F that, I'm gonna play Destiny. Like I'm gonna just stick with Bungie this time around too. So so I'm excited because I liked Infinity Ward's last game. It's a direct sequel. This will be a direct sequel to Modern Warfare, from 2019. So hopefully that engine feels similar, and I'm excited to see. Oh, and apparently it's like they want to really like put change the battle royale formula that they've created for themselves. They want to change it up and like really expand on it. So I'm excited to see what that's about. I'm really excited to see like how they're gonna expand on it, how they're gonna change. It's gonna be like a sandbox mode. I have a feeling everybody wants that Fortnite shit. They want. I have a feeling it's gonna have like performances in it. I think it's probably gonna allow them to do better skins. So now you can
Mhm.
go ham with the skins. And I have a feeling like I mean, it seems like the smartest route. That way you can have the one game for, forever and have all those skins and stuff built into the game.
That makes sense instead of having to release and release and release and stuff like that. This gives you. the opportunity to, like you said, to just kind of build on it
Yeah.
instead of working from the beginning again.
Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, I want to see what, and then hopefully, I don't know. Like I feel like they should see the problem for me was like Warzone, I mean, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, excuse me, was 2019 was a really good game. I really enjoyed it when Black Ops, Cold War came out. Even though I did enjoy it and I bought it or whatnot, it's like I feel like I wasn't ready. Like I'm like Modern Warfare could have went 2 years easy, and I think nobody would have complained about it. I mean, you're always gonna have your haters. Everybody be hating, but I think it could have
Of
went
course.
another year, and then they could have released Black Ops, and then then maybe another sequel. Now, maybe let that go for 2 years instead of fucking Vanguard. What I mean, it hasn't been 4 years, but still, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think they could do a 2 year cycle, and I hope now, Microsoft can see that and be like, why are we wasting all this money? Let's just make as much money from one game, which I feel like wouldn't that be smarter? Instead of developing, constantly paying people and developing all these studios, just have two studios flip, rotate.
Yeah.
And I mean, to me, it just seems like it makes the most sense. But whatever. Um, and then the last thing I want to cover really quick was I want your opinion on this. So horror, that game, that horror game, Martha is Dead, or whatever.
Hmm.
So apparently there's like a whole like crazy face cutting scene that's gonna be censored out of the PlayStation. Like, what do you think about that?
I mean, I personally don't care. I saw that
What
they
what
tweeted out a whole thing about not having it in the PlayStation, and I saw somebody's reaction like, "Oh, I guess I'm getting it on Xbox." I mean, I personally, we see a ton of gory things in games nowadays that I guess it just really depends on the sensitivity of the player. I
right.
personally, I'll play it. Whatever. I'll be over here like this, even if it's really like, ooh, give everybody the warning. But I mean, I
You
don't
don't
know.
care in what way? What do you mean you don't care?
I don't. I mean, I don't care in the sense of I don't care to about seeing it.
Oh, okay.
I'll play through it without the censors. I
That's
don't
what I'm
know.
saying. So
I've
you're
been
gonna so
really
you're gonna play it on Steam pretty much or Xbox.
I exactly. I'll definitely play it. I'll give it a go. I on top of that, it's just been I've horror games have been intriguing me. They've been sucking me in. So, and I've always been a fan of the Saw, the gore and stuff like that. So playing it through in a video game puts it in my hands. I don't know. I'm down.
Exactly. I don't know. And then people are like getting so mad about it. I'm like, you don't even know what context that's in or why it's in it. And sometimes it's just part of the story. I mean, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like, you don't
Mhm.
know, like, like, how do you know that it does it? People are like, oh, it adds nothing to the game. Like, okay.
You
Like,
don't know that yet.
why do you even
Yeah.
care? You probably wouldn't have cared. And nobody would have cared if it wasn't announced that it was censored. Like, that's the thing.
Exactly.
It's like
That's the
there's
point.
crazy shit out there. Look at Mortal Kombat. You look at some of
Exactly.
the fatalities in Mortal Kombat. They're fucking gruesome, showing full
Mhm.
on like guts being ripped out and shit and wild. I'm like,
Spines being
that's
pulled out
fine,
of their
but
bodies.
uh,
Exactly.
like I don't know, whatever. People are fucking sensitive. This shit I wish that would stop.
Yeah, yeah. You have people being okay with. I mean, aside from goriness, you're okay with all the just the guns and the shooting and the cursing and the strippers and all that stuff, but pulling off somebody's face is not okay. Gosh.
When you probably enjoyed Saw, growing up, and and you
Exactly.
enjoyed other crazy movies, but this
You have
one
to
thing is like horrible for you.
exactly. You have to pull out the key that's in your stomach and you have to do it yourself, and it's just like but this
Yeah.
is this is crazy.
But yeah, the last thing that I found annoying today. So, like I said earlier, it's Horizon got its embargo lifted, and the reviews have poured in.
Mhm.
And I was following the discourse like I like to do on Twitter, and apparently, like, so all the Xbots are like, saying, "Oh, it didn't even hit 90," and people are like really making this big deal over 90, and I'm just like, this whole thing about comparing having a dick measuring contest based off of meta scores is so corny to me. It's like, yo, what is
Mhm.
wrong? And then the thing is, it's not like it's teenagers, it's grown men. It's grown
And
ass
that's
men
adult.
that
Yep.
just want to one up each other. and it's like it turns so sickening and weird because it goes from funny like trolling to like dudes really getting butthurt over some weird shit, and then the meltdown that happened to Xbox players as they got so upset about PlayStation not being, I mean, still getting Call of Duty games past contractual obligations. It's like, yo, what is happening? People, I thought it was jokes, and people were really having meltdowns, like on Twitter, admitting it too. It's like, how do you not see that? You look like a freaking idiot. Like you look so weird. Like you guys are so weird with this shit. Like the obsessiveness on their console. Like, yo, you sure you got a job? Like, go buy the other one if you want to play the other thing. Like, I just don't see like why you have to fight for this so hard every single day. And it's sickening. And the thing is that I wouldn't care, and I would think like, whatever. You know, it's internet being internet. Who cares? But it really feels like sometimes these companies listen to this discourse. Like
They
they
do.
fall into the traps.
Yes, they do.
And I really think that's why some of these announcements get made the way they get made, and they really do cater to this vocal minority that of people crying, you know. And it's just like so I wouldn't care, or just I would dismiss it if companies really weren't taking that shit into consideration, but they are. And it's
Mhm.
just like, I mean, at the end of the day, who cares what the games scored? It's like people need to start experiencing things for themselves, because I'm realizing that I've missed out on games and experiences based off of review scores that aren't for me. Most reviews and critiques just aren't for me. Like, I don't, they're for like the real stickler in gaming. If it's not broken, if the game isn't broken, then there's not like to me it's worth trying. Anything that's not like a five, like this, like sometimes they've been right. There's been like one or two times where I'm like, okay, like I see what they're saying, like it's either repetitive gameplay, there's nothing to it. Like that's the only time you should pay attention. Like, why did it get a 6? Why did it get a 5? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because in my
Mhm.
opinion,
Exactly.
like that's the only time where it's kind of true, when it gets like a true, like where the majority of reviewers are saying that something's wrong with it, then it's time to like. But once a game is getting hundreds from several sites, that's it. Either hundreds or tens or 8 out of 10s from majorities, that's it. Is where you should try it yourself. That's when it comes
Mhm.
down to,
Mhm.
forget the rest. Even if a few gave it like a 7, I think a 7 to 7 and up, you need to try for yourself, because and really look at what they're complaining about. Okay, I expected to, like, if Horizon got a 7, I really need to know why. Like,
Mhm.
why,
Mhm.
'cause I would still try it myself. Because a lot of times they'll tuck in what the game did right in the middle there and still be like, well, like the way they did to what's that game, the one that you have the little black things that I played.
Oh, Kenna.
Kenna, yeah. That
Mhm.
it's not, it wants to be God of War but doesn't quite. It wants to be Ghost of Tsushima but doesn't do it right. And I'm like, I had a lot of fun with that game. That game was
It did.
cool.
Yeah, they talked a lot of trash. Like, oh, this isn't doing anything new. But is it fun?
Exactly. Like
Does it
like
have enjoyable gameplay?
yeah,
Yeah. Okay, suck it to me.
right? Like yo, it's a $40 game. Like, what are you really bitching about here? The game was
Mhm.
gorgeous. I'll admit they could have said like it didn't deserve a 10, but the way they made it seem like that, it just wasn't that great. I'm like, nah. I'm like, you can do better than that. Like, you can mention better things. Like, just say like, look, if you're looking for something crazy brand new, you're not getting that here. If you want a solid game that you're gonna enjoy, a nice 10 hours with, and you want a little bit of challenge with the different difficulties, get this game. Like, it's
Mhm.
worth playing. Like, this whole like it's a 7 out of 10 is like, I don't know if review scores are bad. Like, they do that because the industry wants publications to do that. But it's like,
Exactly.
I feel like people need to start learning. I think game sales would be higher if there wasn't numbers involved.
Mhm.
I really don't think we need numbers anymore, because, like I said, I used to pay attention to that. Like, oh, that got a 7, that's getting a 6.5, that's getting this, and then it's like I'm missing out on a fun ass game, like
Yeah.
Days Gone. Like, I would have enjoyed Days Gone if I played it when it came out, and I completely missed that game. And I'm kind of, in a way, I'm a little bit happy I did, because I got to play with the PS5 patch, and didn't see the glitches, but the way they made it seem like, oh, was that great, or was it, the glitches, and then it's just your mediocre game and blah blah. I'm like, that I had a lot. That game was pretty fucking solid. Like once, like I said, once it got ironed out, which I'm sure happened in the first month, like once the
Mhm.
everything got ironed out, that game was pretty fucking solid to play. Like it was fun to shoot shit. It was fun upgrading your weapons. It was cool. Like like it was just Last of Us on a on a, again, mechanically not as solid as Last of Us, but still close enough where you're scavenging for stuff, you're sneaking up on zombies, you're sneaking up on people. It had its stealth. It had it everything that mostly makes Last of Us cool. Besides it being a not being a linear game. And like I said, some of the acting moments were annoying. I know Marvin mentioned like you have to meet your wife, talk to your wife Stone in like the freaking upper right of the map like 5 or 6 times throughout the game, and it's that part it really is annoying because it's like you think like, oh, what's that again? Oh, it's the fucking Stone, and you just, oh, hey, how you doing? And then it's like there are some corny moments in the writing and the story, and the pacing wasn't perfect, but it still was a solid game. Like it got shitted on, and it didn't deserve that. It didn't deserve to be shitted on, and I don't know what it was with that game, but I feel like I don't know. In my personal opinion, I think a lot of these websites are woke leftist, video game websites, and I feel like a lot of like it was a white protagonist in the game, and I feel like that was like part of the reason. I'm not saying like everything is bad and whatever. I just think part of the reason that they went so hard on it was because of who the protagonist, and that it
Mhm.
was just your average white guy, American white guy or whatever, straight white male that, and I feel like that's why they went so hard on that game. And
Mhm.
I'm just like, because I'm like, come on, really? This game got crapped on so hard? Why? Besides the glitches, so many games launched like
Yeah.
that. And, and like I said, there were some pacing issues, but other than that, the game deserved, I think, a little bit more praise for what it did, especially with the hordes, which again were they could have had more of them. They could have had more of them, but I thought it was a solid game. I thought it was a pretty solid game for what it was. But it is
Mhm.
what it
Mhm.
is. Like I said, I don't know. Do you follow like game scores? Like how much weight do you put on those anyway?
None. I take a look at the description of the games, and if they fit what I'm interested in, or if they sound some sort of interesting, or just something that I can maybe get into. I don't know, and I've been opening up on different genres lately, especially because I myself, I get stuck in I used to get stuck in just a genre. I used to look for just a straight platformer, puzzle games, but now I'm just trying to kind of open up a little bit more and do a little more with that. So, especially again, I know I mention this all the time, but it's because I just think it's amazing. I have the motion sickness patches, so I can get back into like FPS stuff and stuff, even puzzle games that are first person, just different things. I've been getting into deck building and more horror games that a lot are in first person, and it's a, a lot of these games get trashed.
Yeah,
Even the Imposter Factory, the To the Moon 3. We stumbled upon a review, and if I went by the review, I'd be a little weary, like, oh my god, is it even any good? Because this person was just saying it was a little slow, and and it wasn't as good or something. But like, I knowing the previous games that I have been following for the past at least 2 years since I found them, I love the game. I can't wait for the next one. But if I go and I
hmm,
take what they say just by their word, I wouldn't even be playing anything.
exactly.
That's with everything,
Mm,
because for few every few good reviews, you get the 10 bad reviews because it's not their cup of tea. And that's what you have to take into consideration. If you want to take the word of a reviewer, you got to find a reviewer that thinks like you. And
exactly.
then you
No, it's
kind of
true.
go from there. Like if you have like let's say someone that'll um like first person shooters and battle royales might not have the same interests into games as I do. So I'm not gonna go and look at their reviews because they're gonna trash what Zelda or something that I really enjoyed because of the open world aspect and all the different things I can do in there. you know.
Exactly. And if you leave it up
So
to certain people, it's like you said, you would never play an indie. You would never play anything that's not, like I saw some guy on or I don't know what they were. I saw some person on a YouTube comment section, just like every person who mentioned that they were playing
I
a
remember.
first person game was like, "Oh my god, you're an idiot. That's trash." But I'm just like, what the heck? It's like
Like,
but
what do you even play?
like everything was like it was bad to them. Everything that somebody said was like, "Oh, that game's trash. That game is trash. This game is trash. That game is trash." I'm just like, okay, either you're very lonely and bored. Like, get out of here. Like
Mhm.
let people like what they like. That's it. And it's like that's the weirdest and most toxic thing about the gaming community. It's like you
Yeah.
if if you critique one side over the other, they think that that you just caper for that one side, and it's not for the other side, and it's just like even Marvin did that shit to me, where I said something about Sony. He's like, "Oh, you act like Microsoft." I'm like, when the hell did I say that Microsoft didn't do that? All I'm
They
saying,
go
look,
into that slippery slope
the topic
mindset.
is Sony right now. We're talking about Sony. I'm like, Sony's a shitbag of a company. Microsoft's a shitbag of a company. The reason why we're even here today is because Microsoft shit the bag, shit the bed rather, when they announced the DRM only console gaming. And when they said you have to have an internet connection and you can't share discs anymore, they really like had the balls to come out and say that shit. Like, are you kidding me? They thought they were on top of the world, and you were $100 more expensive than the competition, and your console just
Mhm.
wasn't that great. And like they had the
Mhm.
better exclusives at launch. They had the Connect, which was dope, that came with your console. But then you're
Hell
gonna
yeah.
go and say that nonsense, and then on top of that, you had no studios making killer apps for your Connect. It's bundled with everything. So where's your killer app with that? Like, they were just so foolish, Microsoft, and
Mhm.
that's why people forget. That's why they are quote unquote consumer friendly, or more consumer friendly than Sony. But Sony was consumer friendly like a motherfucker when they had Xbox kicking their ass, 360 kicking the PS3's ass. They had the data breach, so when they came back, that's where PS Plus came in and said, "We'll give you
Mhm.
free games every month." And it became a hit. And that was the start of their rise. Then they had bangers releasing, and then they had a cheaper console, and the PS4 was pretty dope. And I'll give it to, so
Mhm.
I'm a definitely a bigger Sony fan than I am a Microsoft fan, by a lot, but I would love to
Mhm.
see Microsoft launch some dope shit. Like, yo, release some games,
Mhm.
like release some damn
Absolutely.
games already. Like, yo, they've been, this year we finally get some of them. It's gonna take till next year to really see, like, like them release some cool stuff. Like, I'm excited for Fable, and I want to see what everything that Obsidian's releasing, and I want to see what
Mhm.
some of these, I want to see Starfield, even though that's only because they bought Bethesda, but I want to see some of these stuff under their belt so that it competes with Sony, so that
Yes.
Sony doesn't get arrogant. You
Yes,
need.
they got to get humbled from time to time.
Exactly, and that's why we need Xbox, just so that they can humble, or try to humble PlayStation, like they did in the 360 era. That they
Mhm.
brought Sony down from that high horse, and I'm just like, we wouldn't have the bangers and the things. I mean, we might have had them, but we wouldn't have like the two free games. They changed the industry. They
Mhm.
changed the industry.
Mhm.
They're the ones that started the whole free games, the cross buy. You buy it on one, you have it on Vita, or you buy it on PS3 and you'll get the PS4 version. Like, they started all that shit.
Mhm.
Microsoft, because they were the underdog trying to come back, in the public perception. Then when the roles were reversed, now Microsoft's the one that's saying, "Oh, here's Game Pass. Here, get day and date, get a smart delivery." You think they'd be smart delivery if they weren't the complete underdog? Hell no.
Mm-mm.
Hell no. They would be
Of course
charging
not.
that $10 fee just like Sony does. That's why I'm like, don't get it twisted. I can shit on whoever's doing the dumbass shit. I remember everything dumb Sony did. I remember everything dumb Microsoft has done. Microsoft has done. And none of them needs to be too successful. We don't want a too successful Sony, and we don't want a too successful Microsoft. We want them somewhere in the
Exactly.
middle where they're constantly competing with each other. That's what we
Exactly.
want. So you're getting a
It's an
banger
equal
here, a banger here,
opportunity.
Like, it was cool to own both console. What?
No, no, it's a we're here. We're equal opportunity shit on you.
Exactly. But and praising you too. Like again, it was
Exactly.
cool to own all three consoles at one point. I
Yeah.
loved that I could only play. I had my Xbox and I could only play Halo on there. It gave me a reason to own more technology because I love owning that shit. It had Xbox Live was way better than PlayStation. Anything PlayStation 2 had, but
Mhm.
PlayStation 2 had all the bangers on it. It had the better games. You knew you were getting Devil May Cry and Metal Gear and and all kinds of like games on Ratchet and Clank and Jack and Daxter. You were getting all that dope shit on PlayStation. You weren't getting nothing on Xbox, and even the
Mhm.
Final Fantasies. And then when 360 came around and all the third parties saw that didn't know what the fuck Sony was doing. They had a chip they couldn't develop for. That was the other thing. They had that stupid chip the PS3 had. That they couldn't do nothing with. So a lot of developers said, "Fuck that. We're not gonna lock down to you and spend all these
Mhm.
resources trying to develop for your console. We're gonna go with Microsoft." And then Microsoft was
Yeah.
paying out the ass to make sure that happened too. You know what I'm saying? So Microsoft had it. They had the easier developed console. They had the money to pay for exclusivity. Like Mass Effect was only on the part one was only on 360.
Mhm.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, uh, this is why we want competition because then Sony was forced to have in-house studios making bangers. Like
Yes,
fine, third parties going
exactly.
with them, then we're gonna start releasing our fire, and that's when we got Metal Gear Solid 4, and we got Last of Us came out. Yo, I remember that E3 presentation where they first showed Mass Effect for the first. I mean, excuse me, Last of Us for the first time. Oh
Mhm.
man, and you saw like that's when you saw like Joel like in some place and he fights some guy and then he gets like he's like I don't know if you remember he's like
No,
fighting
it's
and he
way
falls
too
like out
long
the
ago.
window and he's fighting the guy and it's at the end he gets the shotgun and boom and then I think that's when the scene I could not wait. That made me re-buy a PlayStation 3 like that's what I'm saying. Like Sony, that was like the rise of Sony. Right? Like they came with the
Mhm.
bangers. That's why when PS4 finally launched and they show Horizon Zero Dawn for the first time, and they started
Mhm.
showing all these like new games and Final Fantasy VII remake and all that. I missed that. I missed that Sony. And then now they're on
Yes.
top. Now they don't do any more cool presentations. They don't put no
No.
money down no more. That was them overtaking Xbox by leaps and
Yes.
bounds. I wish we don't have that no more because they don't need to do that no more. We know you're gonna buy our shit anyway. Why are we gonna
Exactly.
spend all this money on a big ass presentation where we could just show you what we're? This is what I mean. Like
They were
even though
being
it's
a
not a big
tryhard
deal, like
type
who cares about a
people.
presentation when dope games come out? But
Mhm.
we would still get better things if they had to worry about Microsoft, which they don't. They don't have to worry about. No, that's changing, but
Yes.
you know, for better for worse, it's changing. But like I said, now we're getting free to play, and that's how they have to compete. And that's the thing that makes me sad. That now to compete with all the shit that they're buying, they have to have fuck around money, and that's what I think they're saying. Okay, fine, we got just like Nintendo had to go mobile, and they did. That they also jumped into the mobile game to get some fucker.
Yeah.
That's what I think it is. Like now it's like, all right, well. We see that the free to play market is blowing up, and we have not jumped in too hard with that. So now we're gonna do that. It's like that's part of the reasons because you have people like Tencent buying up everything, and now Microsoft buying up everything.
Mhm.
So now you got to come and say, this is our plan. This is what's gonna happen. This is our by 2025 we're gonna have 10 fucking free to play or games live service games. I don't know if they're gonna be free to play, but 10 live service games.
Yeah.
I just hope they take that same
Mhm.
approach with their bangers to really cool shit. If they're, like look at Lost Ark. That's a fun little, live service
It
game
is.
that I can see myself going back to and fucking around. And I would, that's all I hope. I don't mind giving money to a live service game if the content is there. If you're giving me tons of
Exactly.
content, I will give you a couple of dollars in return to say thank you. You know what I mean? Because
Exactly.
you want it to keep coming. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
it's not so bad to say, you know what, this week, I've never paid money for anything. That's a cool skin. I played the shit out of this game. I want that thing. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
If I can afford it,
Mhm.
obviously.
Yep. 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 Exactly.
And that's like with Fortnite. We played so much fucking Fortnite.
Yes.
That when the kids when with rather we played so much Fortnite with the kids that when something came out that looked cool, like a dance, like, you know what, I'll do the monthly thing, or I'll buy some V-Bucks. You know what I mean? Like, we play enough.
Mhm.
I don't mind spending $10. Like, I don't spend no money on this game, and we play like crazy. So I'm like, I'll throw a
Mhm.
couple dollars down. Like, I don't feel so bad. You know what I mean? It's just,
Exactly.
and so let's see what Sony does. Hopefully, since it'll be some of their first games, they'll be a little more consumer friendly on that front. So we'll see.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's
Yep.
the end
Yep.
of my rant there.
Yep. That's right. Sony had their indie thing sometime last week or so too.
Oh, did they? I complete.
Yeah, they announced 7 things. That's where remember for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles,
Oh, that's right. I
they
forgot to
they
watch
they
that.
announced well, that was because they did just 7 like videos. They just dropped the videos. It wasn't even a full like a direct, like a Nintendo Direct, like a 40-minute long thing. They just dropped the trailers. So it was what? It was they announced for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that Splinter was a playable character. That looked really cool.
Yes, I can't wait for that game. That's the
Yes,
nostalgia city right there.
absolutely. Then what else was there? There's they did the Hello Neighbor 2, so
Okay.
that's coming. Then they showed off a Samurai Gun. I'm not 100% sure what kind of game. It looked really cool. It's a platform fighting game, and now they're gonna bring in the Among Us characters in there to
Mm-hmm.
fight. Um, and the oh, for a character from Spelunky and Minute from the game Minute.
Oh, that's
I'm
right.
not sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
The black and white joint. Yeah.
yeah, little character thing. Then what? There's Post Void, which is a high speed FPS. That looked really crazy with the colors. Again, it's an FPS, and that was just really wild. Salt and Sacrifice PvP mode got announced.
Oh, okay.
That's that Souls like. That one looked really cool. And then Moss. Do you remember Moss with that little mouse? That VR, the
Right. Right.
PSVR
Like
thing?
Sig
Oh,
Part 2 or something.
yeah, book 2 just got announced too, so that's gonna be fun too. I want to play. I've been wanting to play Moss, but that's another one that's in the on the list on the back on the back end
Back
here.
burner.
Yeah, yep. And what was the last one? Is Animal Well. That one was like kind of a weird trailer. It's a 2D game, pixel art. It's a survival horror. I'm I was a little confused by the trailer,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm definitely down to play it. It looked very weird, but I think that's just kind of what pulls me into games. I like weird.
Yeah. I think people like your taste in weird games. So we need more of
Yeah.
that. You can
So
catch
then
Pfeffer
what?
streaming weird games on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays at twitch.tv/Pfeffer.
We like weird games. If you have any weird games you want to suggest for me to play, I would love them.
I know I need to get back into
Yeah.
my indie streams and stuff because that's definitely something I started with. I never finished Circle of the Moon 2, which was tough as hell game, and I never
Mhm.
finished uh 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 Blaster Master 3. I have to finish that
Ah,
game.
Blaster
I haven't finished that
Master.
on my own, so I should get jump on that because that game was very fun. Anything NT
Mhm.
creates is usually pretty damn good, like
Yes.
graphically and just all around fun. And their last game, they released some like Gunvolt game or whatever, 9 something or other, and it was getting high reviews. So I'm like, I need to go check that
Hmm.
out too. So, but yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
awesome. Well, I think that's it for now. I don't know if there was anything. I guess we could start wrapping up. Is there anything else that you wanted to mention or discuss?
I don't think so. I think that was really it. I just wanted to make sure we got the PlayStation in there. I remembered the last second there. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, that's really it. And this whole console fighting is dumb.
Oh, it's for sure stupid. I'm like, I don't know. And like I said, just the whole discourse over every little thing is just so it's entertaining, but then sad at the same time. That I'm just like,
Exactly.
like
But if you remember, because they started this back in the day between Sega and Nintendo, and it feels like all those same people that took a side back in the day are all grown up, and now they're doing it all over again. Just like they're just 10 times more.
but see, there was a
But
war because your mommy had to buy you, or your guardian had to buy you, the console. You can now go and buy it your damn self. So what are you fighting about now? This is like schoolyard bullshit. And they're really getting like disrespectful to each other and death threats and all this crazy shit. So it's just like, just play what you want to play. That's it. Stop worrying about what the other guy's playing, what they get and don't get.
mind your business. It's all just mind your business.
Exactly. I'm like, all I know is that I play whatever I want on the console or PC that I want, and that's it. I don't care if it's what it releases on anymore. But anyway, all right. Well, if you made it this far, thank you so much for listening. I appreciate all of you, and definitely again, give us a 5-star review on Spotify or Apple, please. I really appreciate it if you do that, or like and subscribe on the YouTube channel. And turn on notifications. So I don't release too much content on there, just mostly the podcast. So if you want to turn that on to let you know whenever a new episode comes out, I appreciate that too. And yeah, make sure to follow Fefer. If you're not watching, she put her 2 thumbs up. Have a good night.